Eleanor Williams lied, and Britain believed her. In a quiet coastal town in Barrow-in-Furness, a single social media post ignited a storm that would engulf lives, divide communities, and question the very fabric of truth in a digital age. Eleanor Williams, an ordinary young woman, sat before her phone one evening and typed words that would soon ripple across the United Kingdom. Her Facebook post was dramatic, heart-wrenching, and devastating in its implications. She claimed she had been trafficked and assaulted by a group of Asian men. Within hours, her words spread like wildfire. What began as one post soon transformed into a movement. Thousands shared her story. Strangers flooded comment sections with sympathy and outrage. The streets filled with protests demanding justice. And with every click, every share, and every shout, lives began to crumble. Not those of the supposed perpetrators of an unproven crime, but of innocent men caught in the crossfire of falsehood. The claim fit a familiar and fearful narrative, that of grooming gangs, a story the media had told before. It was a narrative that had found fertile ground in Britain's racial anxieties, a story that merged crime, fear, and prejudice into one potent cocktail. Williams's allegations, though untested, echoed every dark suspicion harbored by a nation still grappling with race and belonging. Newspapers rushed to publish headlines, talk shows debated, commentators pontificated. In the frenzy to believe, few paused to question. But beneath the fury lay a quieter truth, that something did not add up. When investigators began their work, the inconsistencies surfaced almost immediately. From the one that had gone viral. The men Williams accused had little or no contact with her. The photographs she posted of her injuries were fabricated. Her narrative, once seen as courageous, now crumbled under the weight of its own deceit. For the accused, the revelation came too late. Their names had already been plastered across social media, their faces etched into the public consciousness as villains. They had been condemned long before the law ever spoke. Some lost their jobs. Others were ostracized by neighbors and friends. A few spiraled into depression and isolation, their mental health shattered by the collective judgment of strangers. The damage was irreparable. Though the courts later cleared them, the verdict of society had already been delivered, and it was merciless. To be accused of such a crime, even falsely, is to be marked forever. The scars ran deep, in reputations destroyed, in families torn apart, and in the quiet moments when despair felt heavier than vindication. Eleanor Williams was eventually charged with perverting the course of justice. During her trial, prosecutors revealed the elaborate lengths she went to sustain her lies, self-inflicted injuries, false evidence, and fabricated stories. Her deception had not only harmed individuals but corroded faith in real victims of exploitation. When the sentence was read, 8.5 years in prison, it was not just punishment for her actions, but a grim reminder of how powerful misinformation can be. Yet the question lingered. How did a single falsehood spiral so far, so fast? The answer lies in the new age of connectivity. Social media, once heralded as a tool for empowerment, has become a court without rules. Outrage replaces evidence, and empathy can be weaponized. In a world where emotion spreads faster than truth, Williams's story was tailor-made for virality. It evoked sympathy, anger, and a moral high ground, all within a few paragraphs. Online, the mob gathered. Thousands of people who had never met her or her supposed attackers demanded retribution. For them, justice wasn't a process. It was a feeling, immediate and absolute. This digital vigilantism, unchecked and unaccountable, has become the new theater of punishment. But unlike the courts, it offers no defense, no appeal, and no end. The Williams case became a cautionary tale not only about deceit, but about how society consumes and distributes information. It exposed the dangerous intersection of media, politics, and race. The old myth of Asian grooming gangs was revived, inflaming racial divides and feeding prejudice against Britain's Pakistani and Muslim communities. Tabloids and columnists resurrected stereotypes long disproven, ignoring data that showed no single ethnicity dominated such crimes. One prominent article in The Telegraph reinforced the false narrative, claiming that most grooming gang offenders were Pakistani Muslim men. The claim was unsupported, and official statistics painted a different picture. More than half of offenders had no recorded ethnicity at all. But by then the damage was done. Stereotypes had already hardened into common sense. Fear and anger became the lens through which whole communities were seen. From the wreckage of one lie, a nation must learn to question, to listen, and to protect the truth before it's too late.